When you go on social media, you're going to be hit with an abundance of influencers who all claim to have the answer to one of life's biggest questions. How do I get in shape? And how do I stay fit? You're gonna go on one guy's page and you're gonna see him promoting the carnivore diet. You're gonna go on another girl's page and she's gonna be telling you that eating meat causes cancer. Hint, it's not. And then you're gonna go on Liver King's page where he's gonna make you think that eating raw liver is gonna make you look like him while denying that he's ever been on steroids.
Do you think if I was on steroids, I would have these fucking appendages down here, these legs?
Yes, I've done steroids. And yes, I'm on steroids.
It can all be, well, overwhelming and to a large degree quite toxic. So what should you do about it? The very first step is to be aware. Before change can happen, you must have awareness. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 ways that social media is fucking up your fitness journey. Number 1 is to know what they are selling, right? What they are selling is most likely a product, but it can also be an idea or a lifestyle that is eventually made to sell the product. As someone who has also created a course I've sold to thousands of people, I'll let you in on a little secret. I am highly biased towards the information in that course. Yes, I'm biased because I also believe it works, but there is also an attachment to the income that I generate off of it. And I'm not alone in this. You have people selling books, supplements, courses, shake weights, and everything in between. And you gotta know what they are selling so you can see the bias in what they are telling you. Now, this does not mean that this is a bad thing by any measure, because it all depends on the next tip. And the next tip is to know the context. As of doing this video, I have a business, a wife, I have 2 children. My advice on what to do with your fitness is very much going to be related to the context of my situation. This differs from the 22-year-old ripped dude who lives in the basement of his parents and has nothing to do but spend time on his body. Or the guy who has taken enough steroids to get a horse disqualified from the Kentucky Derby.
Topsy the roid rage horse.
Or the guy who's always been ripped his whole life, whose advice to obese people is just to eat less and move more. Now, you know who you are, you little motherfucker, and if that's you, please kindly do us all a favor and eat Now, understand, context matters, and you must understand it before jumping on the bandwagon of the next fitness influencer, okay? Just because they show you that they have the nth degrees of body fat does not mean that their advice relates to you. And this leads me to my next point. Number 3, just because they have amazing bodies doesn't mean that their fitness advice should be followed. And unfortunately, people judge books by their cover, and the most ripped people on the planet are the ones who are most likely to get likes and trust. But let me let you in on a little secret. Some of the best coaches I know, they aren't ripped 24/7, and some of them are at 15% body fat or higher. But does that make them less worthy or trustworthy than the dude who stays at 6% body fat year round? Absolutely not. Here's the thing. When it comes to being ripped, genetics play a part. And now, I'm not excusing myself or any other person who doesn't care to keep their bodies at 10% body fat and to see their dick lines in all of the seasons, but these matter. And also, lifestyle matters as well. I, personally, am willing to give up a couple points of body fat if that means that I can have a life that doesn't revolve around the way that I look. And like I said before, I have a business and a family and plenty of friends, and I don't mind actually having a body that's less than perfect to go eat some cheesecake on the weekends. Now, let me let you in on a little other secret that no fitness influencer is going to tell you about. Most, not all, but most guys who keep their bodies in stage-ready shape deal with incredible levels of body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is a mental condition where a person spends a crap ton of time worrying about the flaws in their appearance. These flaws are often unnoticeable to others. It's a person who says that they're a bit fat when they have a body that is way beyond average. And this mental issue has only gotten worse with the invention of social media. And here's a little personal confession of mine. I I'll let you know that I suffer from this as well. I'll have my wife telling me that my body is looking great when all I can do is stare at the mirror and look at my imperfections and look at the body fat that I'm holding in my lower abs and just say that, no, it's not enough. I need to get more ripped. So I too suffer from comparing myself to the people on social media. And guess what? This leads to my next tip. Number 4 is that social media is where you're gonna see the extremes. So social media is largely a visual platform. With all the Instagrams and TikToks and YouTube videos that you see online, what gets the most views is not the dude who is at 15% body fat, but the guys and girls who are ripped and muscular at the same time. There is a big reason why most people feel ashamed of their bodies is because they're comparing themselves to the extremes. This is actually called the availability bias, and it's what James Smith talks about in his video about social media and fitness. I'm going to link it below. And in a nutshell, this means that humans have a tendency to rely on information that comes readily to the mind when evaluating situations and making decisions. This fallacy in people is that saying that the information that they get from social media is what is going to be the norm to them when it is the not. This is the whole case of social media in general. When you jump on, you're going to be smacked across the face with people who have 6-packs and 23-inch pythons who are telling you exactly what to do with your health and fitness, even if it means buying their testosterone boosting supplement or fit tea bullshit. There is no way of getting around it. Our minds are drawn to the extreme, and people will take advantage of that to sell exactly what they're selling, no matter if they're dealing with body dysmorphia or not. This personally is why I actually wanted to start growing on Twitter when I started doing content in the first place. On Twitter, you don't have to show your ass to get likes. I mean, yes, you could, and it counts, yes, but it's not a necessity. Thoughts scale much better on that platform than any other. When you see the extremes on social media, it actually leads to my last point: unrealistic expectations. Top bodybuilders and athletes frequently post their programs and nutrition advice and basically say, here, that's how I got ripped. But the one thing they never list out is their cocktail of weekly drugs. And that Instaguru, you know, the one that you see on Instagram, they don't mention their eating disorders. Oh, and the ripped fitness influencers rarely talk about the one secret to being fit is actually having a set of parents who have great genetics. So by seeing the extremes, you set yourself up for unrealistic expectations of how your body should look and perform. How do I know this? I'm living it right now. This past month, okay, so I've been sleep deprived due to my second child being born. Even in the course of creating the script for this video, I've been interrupted multiple times because I've had to take care of a crying newborn baby or a crying toddler who's crying about the newborn baby because she is crying. Now, my diet has been, for lack of better terms, quite and I've been to the gym 2 times a week. Now, the micro-influencer gym bro will probably say some shit like, okay, well, you know, just get done, bro. While the parent of 2 children probably says, okay, well, hold my beer. On that note, I have another question. Why do you want what you want in regards to the body that you want? Is it because you want it because you saw it on social media and you think that that's what every person should look like? This is an important question to ask yourself as you're on the quest for 6-pack abs or dick line levels of body fat. Okay, so as for me, I remind myself that it's enough to be at a healthy body fat level that's preventable of disease while having a body that can practically do any physical activity that I choose to. This is actually the expectation that I've set for myself, and it's so freaking low that it's actually achievable. And that's what gives me so much fulfillment rather than trying to achieve an unrealistic standard and possibly one that doesn't really correlate with my lifestyle. Now, what are you supposed to do with this information? Well, let me tell you this. Like I said before, awareness is the first step to change. Ask yourself, why do you want the things that you want? Why are you trying to get to the nth levels of body fat? Why do you even follow these influencers in the first place? Is it to look at the extremes and to be inspired by them? Or is it really just to set yourself back and to have unrealistic expectations of how your body should actually look and perform? And there's nothing wrong with going on social media and seeing these people and to be inspired by them or to be even motivated by them. But it only becomes a curse when it makes you start to feel bad about yourself, and it makes you start to feel like you're not enough as a result of not being at the extreme level of physique that you usually see on social media. So my whole point with this video is just to tell you to chill the out. And just to remind yourself, like every time that you're going onto the Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is, you're probably looking at the extremes. You're most likely going to might compare yourself to the people that are at these extremes, and just to kind of peel yourself back, get a little bit of perspective, and to understand that, hey, guess what? It's enough to have a healthy body fat level, to be healthy, you don't have to have 6-pack abs. You don't have to have 23-inch bulging biceps. If you want that, that's great. But it's enough to actually be healthy and to live in a lifestyle that you love. So that being said, if you've gotten this far, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate your attention. Arm yourself with what you're going to be seeing on social media, and then remind yourself of the things that we just talked about today. All right, see you on the next one. Take care.